Montross. And he's been outstanding in league play, hitting 20 of 28 shots. And draws a tremendous matchup today against the big man of the Tigers, 6'11" junior Sharone Wright. Wright leads the Tigers in scoring, and with 49 blocks, he's the 9th all-time leading rejecter in the ACC, and he leads the conference in rebounding. It is Wright against Montross next.
Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports present the best in college basketball, the Atlantic Coast Conference. Today's game is brought to you by U.S. Air, Nations Bank, Discus Athletic, MCI, Food Lion, Ford Mustang, Budweiser, and by Nationwide Insurance.
Inside the Smith Center at Chapel Hill for today's ACC matchup, the Clemson Tigers against the top-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels. A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. The threat of a potential boycott by the wayside, and we will have basketball this weekend. I'm Bob Rathman along with Bucky Waters. Interesting, Buck, that these two teams come in on losses, particularly so for North Carolina, after dropping that contest by 20 points in Atlanta on Wednesday night.
Well, I'm looking for big things today. Carolina, I think, is going to come out really ready to put the pressure on. If they don't, there'll be some serious questions. This is the national champ defending, and they just haven't played like that.
Okay, Clemson was a loser at home to Virginia, and as we look at the four keys to the game, the big problem against the Cavaliers was turnovers.
It has been all year for the Tigers. They're last in the league in taking care of the ball, and against the Carolina team that wants to get off quick, they've got to beat the pressure and get the ball down inside. Good things can happen when you have a great center. Nothing good can happen when the Tar Heels are stripping and running.
As far as North Carolina is concerned, you would think with their preponderance of big people, going to the foul line would be automatic, but in the last two games, they have not been going to the foul line.
Well, I think it's symptomatic that this Carolina team needs to pound the ball inside, take it to the basket. When they're shooting free throws with three 7-footers and a powerful inside game, it just says that it's not there. The snap's not there. They're going to take it to the rim today, and they're going to go to the line. Bet on it.
It should be an interesting matchup in the middle, too, with Wright and Montross. Now let's go to our man, Paul Cameron.
Thanks, guys, and happy Martin Luther King birthday to everybody. I know it's pretty chilly where you are. Carolina on a roll in this series. They've won all 39 games in Chapel Hill against the Tigers. What a streak. Well, other streaks noteworthy in sports to talk about, not to mention UCLA's streak back in the 70s of 88 consecutive wins. Hey, Carolina women's soccer team's got 126 games in a row without a loss. Arkansas's indoor track team, 9 straight titles. Iowa wrestling, 9 straight NCAA titles, just to show you a few. We got starting lineups as Montross and the Heels set to take on the Tigers after this from Budweiser.
It began as a friendly game. Then it took on a life of its own, changing the way you look at football and beer. But if you think you've seen everything, just wait. You haven't. Grab a ticket wherever you buy Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry. You could win $1 million. Bud Bowl 6. It's gonna blow you away.
It's like a nightmare. I was scared, angry. Later, I realized how lucky we were to be with Nationwide Insurance.
The robbery really devastated Don's family. Obviously, I got one of our claims people involved right away.
They were very supportive. They wrote us in advance and promised to get everything back to the way it was.
Being there and getting their life back to normal, that's what mattered most. Nationwide is on your side.
It's the place to catch some of baseball's first pitches, and where people love to throw themselves into the game. But the town of Sarasota, Florida, is also a major financial center because it's served by Nations Bank, which lets Albert and Fruit Company pick from the widest range of commercial services, gives families like the Piles greater investment options, and helps people keep all their bases covered in Sarasota and in 1,900 other communities throughout our nation.
Welcome to the Home Eating Network. Our first item is this lovely Supreme Pizza from Pizza Hut. It comes with a stunning array of pepperoni, onions, beef, and pork toppings, and mushrooms. Don't you just love mushrooms? And if that wasn't enough, you're also getting some fabulous green peppers. You might expect to pay up to $100, but call now and it's just $8.99. And we'll throw in a second pizza for just half price. Our drivers are standing by, so call now.
The Clemson Tigers 8-5 overall, 0-2 in the league against the Tar Heels, 12-2 and 2-1. Here's the Clemson lineup with Ragland, Martin, Wright, Ritchie, and Beauvain. And Andre Beauvain, a senior Bucky, he really has to step up and take charge, particularly with his outside shooting today.
Well, he's already been called the Secretary of Defense, but you're right, offense is the key today, and he's only averaging 4 in the 2 ACC games, 10 out of conference.
The Tar Heels line up this way. Donald Williams, very cold in Atlanta, 0 for 8 in his first game back after the tendonitis problem.
When they don't have the outside game, the big guys suffer. I'm looking for him to have a big game, especially here at home.
The Tar Heels and the Tigers in Chapel Hill. And we'll be back with the opening tip-off of today's ACC matchup when we come back after these words.
You don't think a car can change your attitude? Watch. Take this guy, give him a probe, lose the sweater, change the hair, voila. Or her. Give her an Escort GT, lose the glasses, make over city, and bingo. Whoa, this guy needs a Ranger bad. Let's do that grunge thing, and off you go. A lot of work here. Definitely Mustang. Lose the pocket protector, heck, lose the whole outfit, and throw that man a wave. Ford. Serious attitude adjustment.
We have
You know how fast your business is changing. But do you know which airline is changing faster than any other? Building new terminals. Enriching its frequent flyer program. Forming a global alliance. Making so many improvements, it can truly be said, in the history of aviation, no other airline has made so many changes so fast. All of it's for you.
You ready?
Yep.
What's this? We're playing on clay.
Right back.
It's mixed doubles.
Oh.
Outdoor court.
Is activewear becoming too specialized for you? Try Discus Athletic. Heavyweight sweats and tees. Just change your clothes once. To Discus Athletic, the way America plays.
Total domination by the Tar Heels, including that remarkable 39-0 record here in Chapel Hill against the Tigers. Underway from the Smith Center, the Tar Heels have it. This is Donald Williams being guarded by Bruce Martin, who's into the starting lineup with Lou Ritchie in the Clemson backcourt today. Williams penetrates, draws the foul, and will shoot 2.
Well, we were looking for indicators early. The outside guy going to the hoop. Don't think that lack of free throw opportunity has not been mentioned by that man.
Dean Smith against Cliff Ellis making his final trip to Chapel Hill.
At least that's the Clemson coach.
That's right. Exactly. Here's the free throw by Donald, and it rims out. This has been a continuing sore spot for the Tar Heels. Just 65% as a team at the free throw line this season.
That's not as great a concern to the coaches as the fact that with their game and style, they're just not getting to the line.
Lou Ritchie brings it up on Dirk Phelps, an immediate trap, and Salvadori providing the double team, tapped out by Williams. Well, that's some trap when you got a 7-footer coming over to guard Lou Ritchie at 5'9".
He thought it was a total eclipse.
Lou Ritchie Guarded by Phelps. Ragland to Beauvais. Inside to Sharone Wright, and it's knocked out of bounds by the Tar Heels.
Boy, that was a terrific pass by Beauvais. I'm not sure how he got it through there, but he did. And normally, Sharone Wright handles this pass. Looked to me like he was looking to see where the defense was. Let it get away. Has great hands for a big guy.
Shot clock at 7. Beauvais will take it and miss it. Phelps. And that rolls in for him. 3-0 Tar Heels.
Carolina wants a quick start, extending the defense early. Makes a lot of sense. Clemson has not clearly demonstrated they can handle the pressure.
Martin missing the 3. Carolina running. They push it ahead. Here's Reese. Bryant. Montross to tip. Once, twice. Carolina getting to the offensive glass to tip it home. 5-0. They lead it. Here's Ritchie. Beauvais is open. Wright, the offensive rebound. Loose ball picked up by Williams. Great help for the Tar Heels defensively.
Sure was. Looked like a just white column surrounding Sharone Wright that time.
And Wright fouls Montross. You fans will remember the game at Clemson last year. Wright fouled out in 8 minutes. One of his 5 fouls was an unsporting technical. In the game at Chapel Hill, Sharone had 20 points and 12 rebounds. Changes for Clemson, and Cliff will change 3 men. Buckingham, Wallace, and Code come in. Meanwhile, Eric Montross to the line. A 56% foul shooter this season, averaging 14 a game. He had 22 against the Tigers in this building last year. Rasheed Wallace is in, and Salvadori out for the Tar Heels. Montross already with 3 rebounds in this game. Beauvais out of the game quickly as Cliff is trying to find a combination to get something going offensively. A shutout so far in 2 minutes.
Well, I think he wants to keep the ball a little longer, keep the Tar Heels on defense, and then certainly he wants the big fella inside, Sharone Wright, to touch it. After that, anything good can happen. He can kick it out. He can make his move.
And Clemson throws it away. Second turnover for Cliff Ellis.
Appears to be a lack of understanding of roles with those 3 new substitutions at one time.
Wallace, great position on Buckingham inside at the offensive rebound. First foul on Buckingham.
Wayne Buckingham has to give Clemson a big game today. He's not in good position here. Rasheed Wallace, a much quicker jumper, going up over the bulk of Buckingham. That's kind of a rhythm to it. That was not a forced error.
Rasheed averaging 6.5 rebounds and nearly 10 points per game. He's on the board. We talked about Carolina going to the line 4 of their 8 from the foul line here in the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Wallace connects again. 9-0 Tar Heels.
Clemson hurt without Devin Gray. That's why Wayne Buckingham's performance in here early really important to the Tigers in the front court.
Code draws the trap.
Nice step through that time.
And the Tar Heels force another turnover as Wallace throws it away.
Cliff Ellis aging before our eyes. The trap. Watch a good step through that time. Everything's fine till right there, and the skip pass cross court, nothing but air. Cliff Ellis was open, but he really didn't want that pass.
Here's Reese. Back out. Williams for 3. Short. Wallace puts it up and in. Great extension.
He may be the best ever in this league. He has the equipment to do that. An outstanding talent.
Tar Heels pitching a shutout so far. 3 minutes into the first half. Wallace knocks it away on the low post entry.
Sharone Wright showing him where he wants that pass, which is higher and closer to the rim.
Jerry Stackhouse for Brian Reese. Wallace to Trigger, out front to Code. He'll take the three with Phelps flying at him. Stackhouse had it and lost it. And Wright stuffs it, and the foul. So the two big men, Bucky, with a field goal apiece and a foul apiece.
Well, they get off on each other. I mean, they face the challenge. Three of the top 10 centers in the country, including Cherokee Parks, are in this league, and they really do love to go with each other. The quickness of Sharone Wright inside is just incredible. He looks wide and bulky, and he's got those skinny legs, but he moves like a cat.
Second opportunity for Corey Wallace. It missed three. And a foul underneath Don Clemson. And this one will be on Buckingham. His second. Cliff Ellis with 3 victories in 19 games against the Tar Heels, but as the head coach of the Tigers, he knows when this basketball team comes north of the border to the Tar Heel State, bad things happen. Never a victory at Chapel Hill. Look at Wallace with the slam. Good ball movement, too, for the Heels.
And, in fact, Tony Britt, our research ace, says that Clemson has not won in the research triangle in 20 years, which is an awesome stat. And they're struggling here today, to say the least. Bad time to catch the Heels, coming off a loss.
Buckingham driving, missing. Wallace a rebound. But you know what's interesting about that, Buck? You talk about the Heels coming off a loss. In the last 2 seasons, the Stackhouse went out of bounds. Coming off losses in ACC play, Tar Heels just 5-4.
That is an interesting stat, especially coming in here, playing at home. They did lose 2 straight in 1982 when they won the national championship. So people shouldn't panic too much with what happens in January. That was a pretty good team in 82.
Yeah, not bad.
We learned in 83 we weren't going to have to do benefits for any of those guys.
Wright can't handle a strong pass. Calabria gets it up now to Derek Phelps. Boy, the senior just so smooth through the lane. Phelps with 4. Tar Heels 15-2.
Clemson desperately needs to establish an inside game.
Code throws it up. Montross had it ripped out of his arm by Buckingham, but a foul on Buckingham. And that's 3 on Wayne. And Bucky, here's a guy who can give the Tigers some size and bulk inside, but he's going to be lost for some time now with a foul difficulty.
3 fouls in 2 minutes. He's after the Captain Hook Award.
15-2 Tar Heels. Time out on the floor.
My store is my life. I've given it everything. To me, there's nothing else like it.
At Nationwide Insurance, we believe that every business is different. Each one has its own needs.
You have to they've helped me with my home and car insurance, so I knew we could develop a plan to protect my business.
The last thing Bob needs to worry about is insurance. That's my job.
Nationwide is on your side.
Introducing the all-new Ford Mustang. It is what it was, and more.
Deep in the heart of Texas, and adored by lovers of the Old West, is Fort Worth, a city that not only has its own stock market, but is also a major financial center, because it's one of the 1,900 communities served by Nations Bank, letting Justin Industries keep in step with the latest ideas in investment banking, giving families like the Trevinos a fresh start, and offering a range of resources that keeps people in Fort Worth from having to play second fiddle to anyone.
Let's look at an MCI proof positive instant replay.
The Tigers with a little trap of their own. Get a hand on it, but can't get a fork in it. Everything going the Tar Heels' way. Rasheed Wallace with incredible quickness and quick jumping ability. And as we've already stated, what a future he has.
15-2 North Carolina. Jeff McInnes is in, handling on the baseline. Right control.
Boy, that didn't stay up there long, did it?
Rayfield Ragland works on Dante Calabria. Now Beauvais. To bounce it low, and Salvadori knocked it out of bounds. Carolina coming around to front that post, and a good job by Salvadori to knock it away.
Clemson just has to see his opening quicker. When Sharone Wright is open, he's drawing the crowd. He's not going to be open very long. They've got to be ready to make that entry pass or the penetration dribble.
Good. A brick. Rebound to Wallace. Ahead to McInnes. Ragland rebound. Tar Heels swept the season series from Clemson last year, winning 82-72 in Tigertown, and by 13 here. Tamara with the lob into Wright. And a foul on Salvadori.
A determined Sharone Wright trying to make his way through to the basket over a sea of white jerseys.
Montross returns. Wallace gets a breather.
Sharone Wright probably won't get a breather.
Sharone Wright is on the line for 2 shots.
Big fella has saved some of his best efforts for the big centers. 25 points and 13 rebounds against Bryant Reeves of Oklahoma State. And then at the Duke game, he had 15 points and 18 rebounds against Cherokee Parks.
It's an outstanding win for Clemson and the ACC against Oklahoma State and Big Country Reeves. It was right after that that Cliff Ellis, on the strength of that win, made his decision that this would be the last year at Clemson.
Number 4, Frank Tamara in for the Tigers, replacing Buckingham, who's got the foul difficulty. Montross inside, and Tamara blocked it. Beauvais running. Andre sticks it. That's a 2-pointer.
Cliff Ellis took him out, gave him a little rest, put him back in.
Ryan Reese with his first field goal.
Tar Heels have to be careful not to go to sleep now. A lot of times when you jump out to a huge lead that way, especially with the substitutions that Carolina has in so many players, they lose that momentum and can allow a team like Clemson to just inch their way back in it.
Ragland behind the line. That's a 3. So Rayfield Ragland, who's hit 11 threes coming in and a 41% shooter from that area. That's 17-8. McInnes retaliates. The 6th 3-pointer for the freshman from West Charlotte High School. Tamara claimed by Reese.
Montross really running the floor to get to the boxes in transition, and he's making Sharone Wright truck it with him, which will take a lot out of Sharone over the course of the game because he won't get a rest.
Freshman Merle Code from Greenville, South Carolina, Southside High School, handling it out front. McInnes right with it. Too many trees in there for that lob pass. Here's Calabria. Up and in. Nice move.
Salvadori gave the tired sign after that real extension to deny that pass into the post.
And as you see, a lot of guys waiting at the table to get in. 3 Tar Heels, 4 Tar Heels, and 2 Tigers now waiting for the next opportunity to enter the game. Code with the bounce to right, up and in.
Clemson should be thinking about the dribble penetration. They're moving the ball, they're passing it without much success in making the entry. One of the things that's given Carolina difficulty is the dribble penetration, both by Maryland and Georgia Tech. the quickness, just breaking down the perimeter. You can't go all the way against the heel. You got to pull up and dish or take the jumper, but that's the best way to make the entry with those trees.
Kevin Salvatore pushes the Tar Heel lead to 14. Dribbles out of traffic, gives it to Beauvais. Nowhere to go with it. Carolina ball, 6. Clemson turnover. 11:06 to play in the first half with the scoreboard reading. Carolina 24 and the Tigers 10.
You know how fast your business is changing. But do you know which airline is changing faster than any other? Improving schedules, modernizing its fleet, forming a global alliance, making so many improvements it can truly be said, in the history of aviation, no other airline has made so many changes so fast. And all of it's for you.
This machine makes something that's in high demand these days. An item that represents many things, like quality, innovation, and the pursuit of perfection, which is why you'll find this popular item on both America's best-selling car and America's best-selling truck. In fact, 5 of the 10 best-selling vehicles in America last year were wearing one of these. Ford. We're attached to quality.
With full confidence, I submit to you an affordable economic package.
Senator, this will cost only $10.99?
$10.99.
That man's an idiot.
I'll say it again.
Somebody call security.
$10.99.
What could anyone possibly get for $10.99?
I'll give you my boy.
Bigfoot Pizza from Pizza Hut with that special crust delivered for only $10.99.
Hey, Dad, who's going to sponsor this bill?
Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
What you are listening to in the background, Cliff Ellis and Friends, his new CD. And Linda Luke, Cliff the Crooner, in addition to his coaching talents. That Clemson, the 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. Did you bring your CD?
I did not, but one of the songs featured on that little disc is called Amazing Grace, and I think he better refer to it quickly. He's going to need some help if he's going to get out of Blue Heaven. He's dug himself a hole. Terrific guy. We'll be back in coaching, and we'll do well.
Here's a look at the shooting numbers so far. Clemson had a rough night shooting the ball on Wednesday against Virginia. And they've been unable to get anything going outside, Buck, and I think that's a key stat, because to beat the Tar Heels, they're going to have to hit some threes.
Clemson went to some kind of a combination that time. Looked like the 2 big guys were zoning inside and man-to-man on the perimeter, but whatever it was, it got a turnover. We'll try to check it out the next time.
Right. In and out. Oh, tough luck. Had a good move on Wallace. Donald. Gets his own miss.
Everything is short. If you notice, it's right on line, but it's short.
Stackhouse. Out of bounds to the Tar Heels.
It is Donald Williams' left ankle, left foot, and that is the critical one for the lift for a right-handed shooter. So it makes a little sense that if it's not 100%, he may not quite just have that explosion that he's used to having coming off that left foot.
Stackhouse. Gary's first bucket. And a 4 for 12 shooting night in Atlanta on Wednesday. 26-10 Tar Heels. Down the lane, Wright with the big stuff.
Montross wisely playing some Matador defense. Let the bull go by on that one.
And at the other end, Jerry Stackhouse up to slam it through.
Oh, my. It's an aerial circus.
Timeout Clemson. And Cliff is really barking at his team as the Tar Heels stretch it out to 28-12 with 9:40 left in the first half. We'll be back after a word from our good friends at Budweiser.
Classic television. Hogan's Hero.
Green Acres.
Arnold Zook. Who played him? Nobody. He was the pig. Remember Family Affair?
Mr. French.
I loved him.
Gee.
He was attractive.
Pete Lee, Julie. Okay, Ginger or Mary Ann?
Ginger was a bimbo.
Mary Ann. Mary Ann or Jeannie?
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
Jeannie.
Crisp, clean, classic.
Retirement? I'm too young to be worried about retiring.
I'm set. I've been socking away a little of my paycheck every month.
The same company for almost 20 years. They'll take care of me.
You bet I got my nest egg covered.
In these uncertain financial times, turn to Nationwide Financial Services for a wide range of investment alternatives, most of which are tax advantaged. Because someday soon, the quality of your life may depend on the quality of your investments.
What if a grocery store put thousands of items on special on January 1st? And say the sale was so popular that they held it over to the 2nd, then the 3rd, a 2-week sale, a month-long extravaganza, thousands of lower prices every week, every month, a sale that goes on all year long. Food Lion. That's what we mean by extra low prices every day.
Carolina leading by 16. Dean Smith's team with a 2-1 advantage on the backboards so far, and they've been able to take advantage of that with 8 second chance points as compared to 0 for the Tigers. Wallace needs to get it in quickly, and he does to Bruce Martin.
Out of the timeout, no change in the Carolina defense. Relentless man-for-man pressure.
Code. Blocked by Salvadori. And out of bounds.
Going back to that point, the dribble penetration will work against the aggressive Tar Heel defense. It's just very difficult to take it all away. He almost made the jump stop, which would have been a good move. He would have been able to dish or go straight up for the jumper. There's a little safety zone in there. You better find it, because if you don't, you better have your helmet strapped on real good if you go one dribble too deep.
And a turnover either way. The shot clock was down to 1 second, and Code trapped. Friends, stay tuned at halftime for the Volkswagen ACC Women's Reports. 28-12, Carolina. Montross rolls it in nicely. We've seen some nice hooks today from Salvadori and Montross.
Salvadori often is forgotten in the discussion of big men, but he has just been the most improved player I can remember.
Look at this. Look at this. Total effort by Eric Montross. He spotted that lob coming to the wing and got a hand on it and nearly saved it. Look at this effort.
I hope we can get the expression on the cheerleader's face. Like the lead boulder in an avalanche. There's no place to go.
Well, he's checking those insurance cards. Bruce Martin for 3 out of the corner. Something that Clemson really needs. Martin is a 44% three-point shooter.
It'll be more effective if they can establish it inside and then kick it out to the spot-up shooters.
Phelps. And a 3-second violation is called against North Carolina.
Wow, when's the last time you saw that? 19. Wow. The big guys are frenzy feeding in that lane. They don't want to leave. Let me correct an error I made, Bob, a little bit ago. I said 20 years. I'm sorry. In my old eyes, it's 20 straight games in the triangle. The Tigers' last win at either Duke, North Carolina, or State was February of '87, and it was in Raleigh. So I just have bad people getting old.
Right. This sandwich that time by Salvadori, Montross, and Phelps come out of there with it. 8 turnovers now for Clemson. Here's Reese. Quickly they work it into the big fella. 8 points for Eric. 32-15.
Beautiful ball movement that time by the Tar Heels. I'm not sure it's that they're not just going right at Sharone Wright. And that's not a bad move either way, because Montross has obviously got the hot hand.
Martin strips the cords on his second three-pointer.
Clemson back, but just not ready to play.
And Buckingham with his 4th foul. picked up 3 in the first 3 minutes. And number 4 comes with 7:18 left in the half, so Frank Tamara summoned it from the bench. McGinnis and Wallace come back for the Tar Heels.
Cliff Ellis having a hard time. He's changed defenses several times, but the fact of the matter is that it's just packed in there. It's not very assertive, and it's not very good guarding against the second shot. One of the things you have to determine in setting your defense, pretty tough to deny the first shot. What's the best way to keep him from getting a second shot? And right now, Clemson just can't stop anything.
34-18. Under 7 to play in the first half. And a foul on Wallace. More ACC action coming up next. The Duke Blue Devils taking on the Virginia Cavaliers. UVA, the surprise leaders of the conference at this stage of the game. At University Hall against Coach K and the Devils coming off that wild finish and a loss at home to Wake Forest on Thursday night. 3-pointer by Randolph Childress was the game winner for the Demon Deacons.
The Clemson script inside. Sharone Wright. Not a factor so far. And credit to Carolina defense for that.
And rather than turn it over again, Wallace calls a timeout. So Clemson stops the clock with 6:39 to play in the first half. And the Tar Heels leading this one by 16.
Quick and Rally is one of the largest discount brokerages in the United States.
The telephone's the lifeblood of our business.
The market moves at a moment's notice.
When we have a client that wants to place an order, they don't want to get a busy signal. If we're not there when they want to do business, they'll go elsewhere.
Using percentage allocation with our 800 service, we're able to divert calls during peak demand from branch to branch throughout their network.
And customers are not disrupted by getting busy signals or long hold times.
Companies like Quick and Rally switch to MCI. That's proof positive.
Now it's time to take a look at our MCI Proof Positive Replay of the Week. Maryland's Young Terps are off and running in 1994. They opened ACC play in Atlanta against Georgia Tech and upset the 12th-ranked Yellow Jackets. Freshman Joe Smith continued his outstanding play, slamming home 25 points in the upset. This fast break by sophomores Johnny Rhodes and X3 Hip and the strong finish by Smith is proof positive that these Young Terps are ready to turn heads in the ACC.
You don't think a car can change your attitude? Watch. Take this guy, give him a probe, lose the sweater, change the hair, voila. Or her. Give her an Escort GT, lose the glasses, make over city, and bingo. Whoa, this guy needs a Ranger bad. Let's do that grunge thing, and off you go. A lot of work here. Definitely Mustang. Lose the pocket protector, heck, lose the whole outfit, and throw that man a wave. Ford. Serious attitude adjustment.
Looking at the pressure inside, number 30, Rasheed Wallace, the outstanding freshman, trying to track the franchise center for Clemson. It was a bad entry pass. Give some credit to Calabria, who was putting good pressure on the ball. As hard as Sharone Wright is working, he just can't get his hands on it. And there's good defense inside, but what makes that easy is Carolina's putting such pressure on the ball. It's an adventure to make the entry pass.
Turnover is a constant problem for Cliff Ellis this season. They've had at least 14 in every game. And 22 Wednesday night against the Cavaliers. Carolina's deep and talented bench responding early in this one as Carolina has bolted out to a 16-point advantage.
And Devin Gray on the bench for the Tigers doesn't help things at all.
Another unforced error for the Tigers. Stackhouse. Kept alive by Montross. Double figures now for Eric. He's got 10. Carolina by 18.
The only thrill in that play was whether Wallace or Montross was going to rip it and put it back.
Montross overplays and secures it. Calabria, hard bounce and out of bounds. Eric doing everything well today.
He's extended his defense. It's not just inside play. He's very, very active. This is a response, I think, to some of the articles and conversation about the Heels really aren't hungry. And that's the term in this Lynch. They're not as hungry as they might be.
And that is another Clemson turnover. Toward the conclusion of our telecast, we'll be announcing the players of the game, brought to you by Nations Bank. Along with Paul Cameron and Bucky Waters, Bob Rathman at the Smith Center, 36-18. Tar Heels with 5:50 left in the first half. McGinnis in and out. Stackhouse battling Tamara, but picked up by Jeff Brown.
The 1-2-2 zone now for Clemson, but not much difference. Still can't limit the Tar Heels to one shot and get a break going.
Tamara. Montross now with 10 points and 7 boards. Wallace on the dunk. Rashid with 10. Carolina just wearing out Clemson inside. 38-18. Martin all tangled up. And here comes showtime. It was McGinnis's turn for the dunk. He's got 5.
Yeah, the point guards get mad if you don't let them dunk once in a while.
I don't think I'd say anything bad to the Carolina big guys. Said yes, sir, and no, sir, as big as they are. 40-18, Tar Heels. And Clemson again throws it away. Boy, it has just been a nightmare for the Tigers. Their 13th first-half turnover. Carolina with massive substitutions, as you see what Montross has done, as opposed to the entire Clemson team. Phelps, Wallace, Reese, Salvadori, and Williams in the ballgame right now for the Tar Heels. Ritchie in for the Tigers. Down the lane to Reese. Great feed. Couldn't finish. Phelps saves it. Tight ropes that sideline. On the cut, Reese again down the middle. He'll try it a third time. Blocked by Wright. Picked out of there by Phelps. Carolina just won't give it up. Here's Williams. Tip. Now Wright controls.
That's words don't do that justice. It's total domination. Clemson needs to keep the Tar Heels on defense longer unless they can find that guy quick.
And the foul inside on Bryant Reese. Bryant's first.
Good entry pass this time. Sharone Wright making his move, little saddle move to the hoop. Boy, looked more like a charge than anything else. Looked like good weak side defense. But Clemson is in need of a break.
Sharone Wright puts off point number 8. He went over 1,000 points in his Clemson career Wednesday against Virginia. The 22nd Tiger player to do so. 40-19. Salvadori over Ragland. 7 feet against 6'6", and with that great extension, Kevin just dropped it right in.
Dean Smith very concerned about defense on the post, and well, he might. Salvadori lost about 4 feet, just was ushered out.
Right on the stuff is Sharone 11. Up ahead, tip away by Brown, taken away by Martin. Bruce for 3. Good. Bruce Martin showing great range. 3 threes in the first half. And a blocking foul on Ritchie. Those Clemson bombs remind us of Chris Whitney's effort in here last year. This week's Discus Athletic Community Outreach Award winner is Grant Hill from Duke. Grant is the chairman of the Read with the Blue Devils program, a reading incentive program for area 3rd and 4th graders. He also spends time as Durham's project graduation chairman to help high school graduates celebrate drug-free. Congratulations once again to our Discus Athletic Community Outreach Award winner, Grant Hill from Duke. Montross back for the Tar Heels as Phelps goes to the line. You see Derek's numbers for the season today: 4 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. We're talking about the Clemson game in here last year, and what Chris Whitney, now the San Antonio Spurs, did. 8 second-half three-pointers brought Clemson back, and they really threw a scare into the Tar Heels, but Coach Smith called a timeout and said, that's enough of that, young man. He didn't get a shot the rest of the game, and Carolina won by 13.
They got within 5 with 5 to go, and that's exactly what happened. From that point on, every time Whitney got the ball, 2 Tar Heels ran at him, and they shut him down. Whitney presently with San Antonio and having a chance to play at the next level.
Reese goes baseline. Needs help. Clemson takes it away.
Boy, Reese just passes up that medium jump shot. Takes it to the basket.
Jeff Brown, short with it. Jeff had a big game Monday at Mercer, hit 5 threes and scored 19.
Devin Gray went down on the first basket of that game at Mercer on Monday night. They're hoping to get him back next week. Obviously missed here today.
Here's Sharone Wright working against Montross. Clemson comes back. Ragland short, goes up, and that's a blocking foul on Montross. A reminder, the announcers for this game selected and compensated by Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports, and the use of this broadcast without their express permission is prohibited. McGinnis coming in. Let's take a look at Eric in this play, Buck.
Oh,
yeah, he slid over.
Yeah, he's good call. I just think officials are in disbelief when he falls down. I think they think something fishy here. That guy doesn't go down unless you're looking for a license number.
Rayfield Ragland, drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, the 2-time world champions of baseball out of high school. Ragland out of Sheffield, Alabama, making his 9th start of the season for Clemson this afternoon. Bangs it in for his 4th point. 44-25, Tar Heels, 1:20 left in the first half. Williams.
Still caught the front. He's got 21,000 people pulling for him.
He gets his hands on the ball, and students, a lot of the fans in the corner behind the Tar Heel bench start to stand, ready for the 3. Under a minute to go in the first half. And now we've got a whistle as Wright and Montross get tangled up, and Sharone whistled for a second foul. Boy, Dean jumped off the bench and saw that, and then Rick Hartzell had the whistle. Coming up at halftime, Paul Cameron will be joining us. Scores, the ACC Women's Report, highlights all the stats. So stay with us. Bring you up to date on what's going on elsewhere in college basketball today. Duke, Virginia, Maryland, Wake Forest, other ACC games today. Florida State at NC State tomorrow. Wright will get some time on the bench as Montross heads to the foul line. 11 first half points for Eric. Season high of 21 came in the opening game against the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky.
Boy, it's a good-looking stroke. Looks a lot better than 65, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's an important asset when you go to the line as much as he does.
Jeff Brown, a 50% three-point shooter. Makes it an 18-point game.
Clemson's got to hang in there. I mean, we got 20 minutes of basketball.
Salvatore. And Stackhouse, no. But Montross, yes. 14 for Eric. Loose ball Flipped out toward midcourt, McGinnis. With 10 seconds to go in the half. Up and in. Nice shot off the window. Brown gets it off, but an air ball in the first half is history. Cliff Ellis and the Clemson Tigers see the Tar Heels jump out to their biggest lead of the half, 22 points. The score at the break, it's Carolina 50 and the Clemson Tigers 38. Stay with us. Halftime coming up next.
Today's ACC action is brought to you by Pizza Hut, Ford Mustang, Food Lion, and by Nationwide Insurance.
From Gillette comes a revolutionary form of antiperspirant protection. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. Because it's a clear, clean, powerful gel, it goes on smoothly with no white residue to form an invisible barrier of protection. All-day protection against both wetness and odor. Gillette Clear Gel Antiperspirant. One of the advanced deodorants and antiperspirants in the Gillette series.
You know those credit card commercials where they tell you to jaunt off to some exotic paradise? This isn't one of them, okay? We're taking our MasterCard to the supermarket. How's that for exotic? Actually, I guess it is kind of exotic. I mean, you've got a MasterCard, they've got tropical fruit and crystal clear water, right? And now, no card is more accepted on the planet, including supermarkets. And it's smart to use your monthly savings to keep track of your grocery spending. I mean, the supermarket isn't exactly paradise, but at least you can drink the water. MasterCard, it's more than a credit card. It's smart money.
Hi, may I help you?
Yeah, I need some shorts to play basketball.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Full court or half court?
Half, I guess.
Pick up our player. Shirts or skin?
Excuse me?
Day or night, home or away, team or one-on-one?
Is activewear becoming too specialized for you? Try Discus Athletic. Heavyweight sweats and tees. The activewear that's right for however you play. Discus Athletic. The way America plays.
Horse or pig?
It's where the careers of naval officers are launched, and where pleasure boaters come to cast away from it all. But Annapolis, Maryland is also a major financial center because it's served by Nations Bank, which enables coastal properties to call on a depth of experience in financing, offers the overstreets everything from equity loans to mutual funds, and gives people a bank that puts greater financial power at their command. In Annapolis and in 1,900 other communities throughout our nation.
I whipped your tail just the way UNC is going to whip Clemson's tail.
No way, man. My Tigers are going to whip the Tar Heels.
Yeah, well, at least there's one thing we can agree on. These new team sweatshirts are really happening.
Yeah, except you're wearing the wrong team logo.
Now you can show your true colors and support your favorite ACC teams with these exciting new sweatshirts from the sports store.
You can wear these durable jerseys to the game, to the bar, or to play pickup ball with a loser like you.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that sweatshirt in public.
Call 1-800-223-5593 to get your Tiger sweatshirt for just $29.99.
No. Call the same number, 1-800-223-5593 to get the right sweatshirt. The one bearing UNC's noble Carolina blue for $29.99.
Look, check this out. Brand new, bold logo that screams support for your favorite team loud and clear.
And these shirts are made of a durable polycotton blend that's tough enough even for the most rugged of us.
Or the most wimpy.
So if you're a die-hard Tar Heel like me,
or a serious Tigers fan like me, you've got to get this sweatshirt. It's a great deal.
Make sure you're wearing this year's hottest team jersey. Call 1-800-223-5593 and get the official UNC Tar Heel sweatshirt for $29.99.
Or call the same number and get your brand new Clemson Tiger sweatshirt.
So if you're serious about college basketball, call now. To order your UNC or Clemson sweatshirt, call 1-800-223-5593. That's 1-800-223-5593. Or send a check or money order for $29.99 plus $3.95 shipping and handling to the sports store, 100 Fusion Way, Country Club Hills, Illinois, 60478. Be sure to specify which team and size you want. That's 1-800-223-5593. Or send a check or money order for $29.99 plus $3.95 shipping and handling to the sports store, 100 Fusion Way, Country Club Hills, Illinois, 60478. Call now.
A crowd of 21,000 on their feet at halftime to honor Woody Durham, the longtime voice of the Carolina Tar Heels. Here's Woody with John Swafford, courtside, athletic director, presenting a plaque to Woody Lombardi Durham. Voice of the Tar Heels. This is his 1,000th game he's called, and they call him a priceless piece of Carolina gem. Indeed so. He has done a great job for so many years. Carolina up by 22 at halftime. They lead 50-28. They ran off an 11-0 lead. Time now for the Nationwide Insurance ACC Scholar Athlete of the Week. Yuri Barnes from the University of Virginia. Barnes, a junior from Richmond, is a 2-year letterman for Jeff Jones Cavalier Club. Yuri has a 2.7 grade point average in psychology. Congratulations to our Nationwide Scholar Athlete, Yuri Barnes from Virginia. We'll be back after this from a word from our good friends at Budweiser.
Category. Music.
Deep Purple, man. Classic.
Foreigner.
Huh? Yeah, man.
First album.
Yeah, okay.
Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
Me both. When were his friends calling him? Me?
Mr. Loaf. About my Sharone.
Beechwood Age Budweiser.
Supertramp.
Crisp, clean, classic.
Frampton comes alive. Moment of silence, please. Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, all right.
USA Reservations, how can I help you?
Hi, who are you?
How do you do it?
Yours, sir. You're traveling light?
Did you have fun flying?
On the airline that's making changes faster than anybody.
For you.
You enjoy your flight with USA.
One thing will never change. Our dedication to you.
The stock market continues to look attractive as the juice market gets squeezed. Bananas gain appeal, while lemons were actively traded in the pits. And tomatoes took a healthy slice. Peaches took a bath, as apples remained a favorite pick. Food Lion. The freshest produce at the best market prices allow you to stock up.
Relive the ACC's greatest moments in the action-packed video that captures 4 decades of ACC tournament action. Call this toll-free number now for Pressure and Pride. 40 years of the ACC tournament.
And it's off the rim, but Dick makes good on the rebound. And 82-80, State is the first champion of the new conference.
Feel the excitement, the pressure, and the glory that is ACC basketball. Call and order Pressure and Pride today. Here is Terry Gannon with an important message.
The key to a great party is making sure that everyone gets home safely. And that can mean taking the car keys away from a friend who's had too much to drink. When you do that, you're giving a true gift of friendship.
Friends know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
Now let's look at our Volkswagen ACC Women's Basketball Report. This week's Player of the Week is Charlotte Smith from the 5th-ranked Lady Tar Heels of North Carolina. Charlotte averaged 24 points, 11 rebounds, and shot 59% from the field in the Tar Heels' 2 wins last week. The 6-foot junior from Shelby, North Carolina, kept the Tar Heels unbeaten this season with wins over Wake Forest and Northwestern. Against the Lady Deacons, Charlotte just missed a double-double, scoring 28 points and pulling down 9 rebounds. Against Northwestern, Smith scored 20 points, grabbed 13 rebounds, dished out 3 assists, blocked 3 shots, and also had 2 steals. This is Charlotte's 2nd Player of the Week award this season. Christy Durlock of Florida State continues to lead the ACC in scoring, averaging 20 points per game. Jessica Barr of Clemson is 2nd. Bonnie Remkus of Maryland holds a slim lead in rebounds over Wendy Palmer of Virginia. Karen Ferguson of Maryland is this week's assist leader, averaging 5.6 per game, just ahead of teammate Bonnie Remkus. This week's Rookie of the Week is Keisha Ford from Georgia Tech. In 3 games last week, the 5'11" freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, averaged 14 points, 8 rebounds, and just over 4 assists for head coach Agnes Veronato's Lady Jackets. Keisha has jumped in with both feet in her first season at Tech. Ford has moved into a starting role for the Lady Jackets by leading the team in scoring, rebounding, rebounding, and steals. Against Tennessee Chattanooga, Keisha scored 21 points, grabbed 12 rebounds, and handed out 7 assists as Tech edged the Lady Mocs 71-70. Keisha Ford, our Volkswagen ACC Women's Report Rookie of the Week.
Virginia on top of the ladies' standings as last night North Carolina beat Florida State 71-48 and Duke topped Georgia Tech 77-59. Our score at halftime, the North Carolina Tar Heels are up on the Clemson Tigers 50-28. Time now for the Budweiser Scoreboard. Scores of local interest and college scores from around the country. And we have one final in right now from the Big East. Seton Hall has knocked off the Pitt Panthers 59-47. Once again, North Carolina has run up to a 22-point lead. Eric Montross with 14 points. Rasheed Wallace with 20. Sharone Wright for Clemson with 10. Atlantic Coast Conference basketball on the Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports Network will continue after these messages from your local ACC stations.
We've been changing a lot of things in the last few years at Morgan Dodge Jeep Eagle in Durham. It all started with our renewed commitment to customer satisfaction. Next, we enlarged our customer lounge, parts, and service. And now we're changing everything else about our facility to better serve you. To celebrate, we're having our biggest sale ever, a giant construction sale. We know you'll love our sale prices, but low prices aren't the only reason to come see us now. Discover the delightful differences at Morgan Dodge Jeep Eagle in Durham.
Hardee's Daily Double Values. Now get any 2 double cheeseburgers for just $2. 2 regular double cheeseburgers, $2. 2 new grilled onion double cheeseburgers, $2. 2 new barbecue double cheeseburgers, $2. Or mix and match. Hardee's Daily Double Values. 2 double cheeseburgers, $2. Now for a limited time.
Will you stop? Give me that.
And now for breakfast, 2 Hardee's mouth-watering sausage and egg biscuits, just $2. Hardee's.
If it scores, you'll see it on Tom Suter's Sports. News leadership working for you. Weeknights on WRAL TV5.
The Chef, His Lover, and a Recipe of Deceit. Watch Inside Edition.
Halftime continues from Chapel Hill. North Carolina leads Clemson, and we'll be right back after these messages from the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Our universities are reaching out to their communities. We're excited that student athletes and college staff are volunteering with United Way programs. All of us have a responsibility to give something back, and it's a vital part of our student athletes' learning experience. Let's go. We're touching ACC communities in a wonderful way by helping people who really need help. Together, we're making a difference that lasts a lifetime.
ACC and United Way, reaching out to our community.
Those are special memories, and seeing him walk with his cap and gown. He knew it made me happy, but most of all, he was doing it for Michael, because I don't think he would have been able to live with himself. Would he have achieved all his goals he set out to achieve without a degree? No. It was very important, and I was extremely proud of him.
On this, its 200th anniversary, the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, salutes the spirit of achievement in each of us.
Back live in Chapel Hill, Carolina leading 50-28. The Tar Heels with 30 points coming from in the paint. The big men very effective, as we thought they might be in this game against Clemson. Once again for the second half action, here's Bob Rathman and Bucky Waters.
Okay, thanks, Bo. Indeed, it was total domination by the Carolina big people in that first half. And as we'll see on our US Air halftime statistics, as you would think, Carolina dominating in all areas. As you look at the rebounding in particular, 27-12 and 14 of the Tar Heels' 27 rebounds, Bucky, on the offensive glass.
Yeah, and obviously they were running as well. There wasn't one phase of the game that Cliff Ellis could point to in the locker room at halftime and say, we got to build on that, gang.
Montross, big first half with 14 points and 9 rebounds, including 5 on the offensive window.
Well, as always, he responds well to the challenge of another fine center, and he was assertive today. Stackhouse putting it back up. It won't go, but the big fella puts it down through for 2 of his 14. Rasheed Wallace went 4 for 4 in the first half, and when you're shooting those high percentage shots, it's pretty easy to go perfect.
Halftime here at Chapel Hill coming to a conclusion. We're getting set for the second half with the Tar Heels in control over the Tigers.
With full confidence, I submit to you the portable economics package.
Senator, this will cost only $10.99?
$10.99.
The man's an idiot.
I'll say it again.
Somebody call security.
$10.99.
What could anyone possibly get for $10.99?
I'll give you my boy.
Bigfoot Pizza from Pizza Hut with that special crust delivered for only $10.99.
Hey, Dad, who's going to sponsor this bill?
Bigfoot Pizza, a legendary value.
It's the place to catch some of baseball's first pitches, and where people love to throw themselves into the game. But the town of Sarasota, Florida is also a major financial center because it's served by Nations Bank, which lets Alberton Fruit Company pick from the widest range of commercial services, gives families like the Piles greater investment options, and helps people keep all their bases covered in Sarasota and in 1,900 other communities throughout our nation.
Jefferson Pilot Sports' exclusive coverage of ACC basketball is brought to you by Discus Athletic, Bud Light, Central Fidelity Bank, and by the Jefferson Pilot Life Insurance Company.
The second half is about set to begin here at the Smith Center in Chapel Hill with the Tar Heels leading Clemson 50-28. We talked about the battle in the middle today, and you see the numbers for Wright and Montross. But, Bucky, with Clemson so far behind in this game, is there emphasis still to first try to go inside and then kick it out for a three?
I'm sure that Cliff Ellis has said, hey, guys, let's don't come down here and start throwing up threes and try to get right back in here in 5 minutes. I think they're going to go back to what we knew was their original game plan. That's to go down inside, establish that man. Sharone Wright only had 5 shots in the first half, and he's the franchise. They've got to find him, go to him, and trust him to take it to the rim or punch out.
Bruce Martin had 9 points all on three-pointers. And for the Tar Heels, we talked about the big folks doing so well in scoring with Montross on top, 14 first-half points. Rasheed Wallace had 10 double-figure scorers for the Tar Heels at the break. Clemson ball as we begin the second half of play. Bob Rathman, Bucky Waters, and Paul Cameron from Chapel Hill. Glad to have you with us today. Merle Code gets the second half start at the point for the Tigers. They try to go into right, but Salvadori steals it. Reese. Knocked out of bounds? No. Reese just lost control. Clemson takes over.
Oh, a very poor entry pass into the post. That one actually hit Salvadori about in the numbers. Had no chance to get to Sharone Wright, but it does show the early focus. The Clemson Tigers trying to find Sharone Wright inside. The man.
Buckingham with 4 fouls. Wright got a fingernail on it, but it's Derek Phelps. 3-on-3 for the Heels. Montross. What a soft shot.
But the ball's going in there at will. Very difficult for Sharone Wright to do anything about it. Montross has improved so much with his moves around the basket. Excellent touch for the big fella.
Jeff Brown with the 3. His second three-pointer of the game. Backdoor off the window. Nice pass. Salvadori with the bang.
Clemson trying to pack it in and take away the inside game. Try to force some outside shooting by the Heels. But the Tar Heels will have none of it. They're going to stay right down in there and pound it on the block.
Jeff Brown continues with the hot hand.
Well, like I said, the only thing they're going to do is try to find Sharone Wright.
Clemson can hit some threes. Over in Hawaii, they had 15 in one game against Evansville. Montross. Just too strong. Well, the Tar Heels just take it in at will.
The entry is almost a handoff. I mean, the outside guys are practically handing the ball to the postman. There's just no snap, no fight in that Clemson defense.
Here's Bruce Martin with his 4th three-pointer.
Clemson is now 8 of 17 from three-point range, and they come up with a turnover. I just can't help, Bucky, but to think back to last year's Clemson game here when Chris Whitney went off from three-point range in the second half and pulled Clemson single-handedly back into the game. Martin for another three. No luck this time. Here's Phelps.
That was catchable that time, the pass into Sharone Wright, but Montross, too strong from behind, punched it loose.
All right, Montross really going at it. Here's Phelps. Missing the three. Montross, the offensive rebound, up and in. Oh, my. Boy, hammer and tongs in there with Sharone Wright. 20 points, 10 rebounds from Montross.
Sumo wrestling comes to mind watching those two. It is unfortunate. Sharone Wright just doesn't have the supporting cast, and it's very easy for the heels to concentrate.
Goes. Montross had 15 rebounds earlier this year against George Washington. His season high. 11 today.
At the half, Phelps had 7, McGinnis had 6. That's 13 points from the point guard spot for Carolina, but showing good balance. Everything else was inside.
Rasheed Wallace returns, and along with Stackhouse, Salvadorian Reese go out. 58-37.
You look at this team, 1 through 13 or 14. Not by the end of the year, it may be the best 1 through 13 team ever in college basketball.
They just come at you in waves.
I just don't know where the depth ends. Oh, just a little itty-bitty screen.
And I think he apologized.
Yeah, and look, Ellis is laughing. We're getting mugged in here, and you're going to call that?
Look at what has happened inside.
The demolition derby for the Clemson Tigers.
Steal by Stackhouse. Look out below.
I see those breakaways. Was it Brian Reese that missed the key one last year in the NCAA against Cincinnati in forced overtime? Boy, you just never know with those things.
Ragland, a three. 12 rebounds for Montross. Look at this. Here's Eric. Nope, a little too strong that time. Wright has 9 rebounds. Martin short on the three.
Sharone Wright looks like a swimmer swimming laps. He just goes from baseline to baseline, back and forth. About the time he gets to the offensive end, it's going the other way.
Stackhouse missing the three. Just 1 of 12 from three-point range for Jerry coming into the game.
Now 32,
and a foul on Jeff Brown. Changes with Salvadori and Calabria coming in, and Corey Wallace for the Tigers. Montross and Williams to the bench. Martin out for Clemson. Talk about Derek Phelps, Bucky. He has 6 points today, and just a cool hand Luke at that point position for the Tar Heels, creeping up on the all-time assist rankings here in Chapel Hill. Started the day just 2 behind Jimmy Black in 6th place. Jimmy now an assistant coach for John McLeod up at Notre Dame. And Derek also second in the all-time Carolina steals list, right behind the man he played with last year, Mr. George Lynch.
There's no question in my mind the Tar Heels do miss George Lynch. They, in those games where they've been over the last week or so, that spark, that relentless spirit that he had when things aren't going well, you just had to put out playing next to him. A guy named Bruce Dalrymple had a similar effect for the Georgia Tech teams earlier.
14:56 remaining. Dean Smith and the Tar Heels leading Clemson 61-37.
If you're comparing the rear-wheel drive Grand Marquis to Buick LeSabre, you should know that in French, LeSabre means sword, which may explain why LeSabre cut things in lots of places. And Grand Marquis only made one. A price that includes everything that keeps Grand Marquis a cut above its competition, like V8 power, room for 6, a huge trunk, and an incredibly smooth ride. At $19,990, it's one grand value. Take a good look today.
This is a Gold MasterCard, okay? Sure, it's got a credit line of at least $5,000, but it won't settle any unresolved issues from your childhood. Well, maybe it could. I mean, no Gold card is more accepted on the planet, so you can take your parents to dinner practically anywhere and say, Mom, Dad, you raised me. I owe you a steak. It might be smart to buy them a grandfather clock to replace the one you demolished when you were 8. And if this one gets broken, the Master Purchase Plan can replace it. So, I guess a Gold MasterCard could resolve some childhood issues. Wow. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a Gold card. It's smart money.
Let us look once again at an NCAA proof positive instant replay. This is to Jerry Stackhouse on
off and running with, I think Greg Louganis would have probably given him a 9.5 on that. That's power. Again, drawing the analogies to Michael Jordan, he's bigger, stronger at this point in his career, much more of a forward-type player. Michael, of course, developed the great guard skills. Actually, Michael played anywhere he wanted, but...
He caught that pass, Bucky, absorbed the contact, and still focused on the rim and laid it home. Stackhouse with 8 now, 63-37. Code, travel.
Out of that timeout, Bob, Dean Smith wanting nothing to hear about comeback. Went right back to the trapping, pressure defense, much more assertive coming out.
Salvatore short. Calabria needs some help. And a 3-second, was it?
Yeah,
3 seconds.
We saw 2 today.
Fred Barricat will be proud of his boys.
Boy, it's only a count to 3.
That was Bucky Waters. 63-37 Tar Heels. Long bomb for Wallace.
One of the few offensive rebounds today for Clemson. They were absolutely destroyed. Carolina's 27 rebounds at the half were divided 14-13. 14 on the offensive end.
That's it over and back against Clemson. Tigers without the services of 6'6" junior Devin Gray today out with that sprained ankle. The Tigers hoping that he'll be able to play on Wednesday night when they travel to Tallahassee to meet the Seminoles. Ritchie and Wright come back for Clemson. Montross right back in as well. Brian Reese will take Stackhouse's place. 13:50 left in this one. Carolina 63, Clemson 37. And just to state the facts again, if you're not aware, Clemson has never won a game in Chapel Hill. 0-39 coming into this one. Reese back out to Phelps. It's a 3, but off the mark. Salvatore, yes. Kevin Salvatore, the 7-footer from Pittsburgh, with his 8 points, 65-37.
Yeah, but the 7-footers are now getting offensive rebounds below the rim. You know, it's just... It's almost painful watching them attack that defense.
Brown. And that one hits the shot clock above the backboard out of bounds.
Jeff McGinnis comes in for Carolina.
Jeff McGinnis now at the point for Derek Phelps.
To Sharone Wright's credit, he has not stopped running and not stopped trying, despite the fact his teammates are so dominated by the defense, they just haven't been able to find him. Really haven't been able to look for him, much less find him.
Montross, nope. Batted out of bounds, and it belongs to Carolina. Or does it? No, it's going to be Clemson ball.
Cliff Ellis won his first ACC game. No other Clemson coach did that. He upset Georgia Tech when they were ranked down in Atlanta. Started his career on a high.
Halfway in for Wallace. Corey Wallace.
Reese to Montross. Draws the foul. Number 3 on Wright.
Pretty simplistic game plan, isn't it? Bring it up the side, hit the wing, hit the post. And when you have the players that are doing all that execution, that's just what it is. 2 shots.
Both Montross and Wright, Bucky, Naismith nominees. Other ACC players nominated for that postseason honor: Grant Hill and James Forrest, Travis Best, and Bob Surin. 21 points and 13 rebounds for Eric Montross in this game. Looking to go 5-0 against Wright and Clemson. He's got it. Longest lead for the Heels, 30 points.
I guess the only other remedial project for the Tar Heels today is to get Donald Williams back in gear.
Jeff Brown can't get it.
0 for 8 in his last outing, 0 for 5 today. Getting him back on the beam, just about cover the bases.
Calabria for 3. And Corey Wallace ends a 6-minute and 10-second Clemson dry spell.
21,000 people here, but you can almost hear them breathing. They're just kind of kicking back in a cold winter afternoon and just watching.
Yeah, Carolina jumped off to a 15-2 lead, and they have not looked back. 10 points for Salvadori. 69-40. Wallace another 3. Corey has hit 2 threes here back-to-back. Had a great game against Duke, the best of his ACC career, when he scored 18 last week against the Devils down in Clemson. Speaking of the Dukies, they're going to have their hands full today up in Virginia. Montross, easy does. 24, season high for Eric Montross. His career high is 28. So that well within reach. Ritchie underneath the Ragland. Nowhere to go. He had a push, says Rick Hartzell, on Montross.
You know, we have a long way to go this season, but, you know, at the beginning of the year, back to August, September, the so-called experts were saying, well, you got Carolina and Duke in the 7th floor, right? And here we are, you know, a couple of weeks into the season. Virginia, even without Corey Alexander leading the league. Wake Forest undefeated. It says a lot about this conference.
It's ACC basketball. Ragland will be at the line now for Clemson. He had 32 earlier this year against Charleston Southern. 6'6" junior.
Chipola Junior College.
Today, after a 12-point game against Virginia on Wednesday. Dean Smith and the Tar Heels in control. We'll be back after this word from our good friends at Bud Light.
Bud Light, please.
Tonight's ladies' night, and there's a special on Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, no, it's Ted from accounting.
We have
You know how fast your business is changing. But do you know which airline is changing faster than any other? Building new terminals. Enriching its frequent flyer program. Forming a global alliance. Making so many improvements, it can truly be said, in the history of aviation, no other airline has made so many changes so fast. And all of it's for you.
You ready?
Yep.
What's this? We're playing on clay.
Right back.
It's mixed doubles. Outdoor court.
This
activewear becoming too specialized for you? Try Discus Athletic. Heavyweight sweats and tees. Just change your clothes once. To Discus Athletic, the way America plays.
Carolina 71, Clemson 45. A huge afternoon for Eric Montross.
The big fella came to play. Full extension, one of 6 offensive rebounds, and 24 points. He has worn the Clemson Tigers out inside. Dean Smith staying right with him. 10 minutes, 46 seconds to go. And we're not looking at anything like clearing the bench. He wants the Tar Heels back on track. And Clemson finds themselves in the unfortunate position of being in the path of that lesson.
Clemson showing total disdain for the 2-point attempt here in the second half. Carolina with Reese. Leans in, scores it. Bryan with 4. 73-45. Carolina coming off a season low 41% shooting night. And Georgia Tech with 2 losses to UMass and Georgia Tech. That one blocked. Carolina has shot 4 of them. 41% against the Minutemen. Not so today. Everything going well here at home. Reese misses the 3. But a foul underneath. And it's on Corey Wallace or Ragland. Let's see. Wallace picks up his first.
Whoa.
Boy, look at that. It's 50-6 in the paint.
That's not a statistic. That's an autopsy. 50-6. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Salvadori comes in, replacing Rushing Wallace.
Salvadori back for Wallace. Reminder, friends, to stay tuned for the Nations Bank Players of the Game Award. Nations Bank will contribute $1,000 to the ACC Postgraduate Scholarship Programs, and 71 contributions have helped fund postgraduate educational opportunities for over 50 deserving student athletes. Well, Wright gets the tip.
Carolina switching to his own that time.
Montross with the hook. He'll shoot 2. Well, they've gone right after Sharone Wright today with Montross.
He had a big game in here last year. We talked about the 13-point Clemson loss. Sharone Wright had 20 points, 12 boards, and 7 rejects here in the Smith Center last year.
Oh, it has been all Eric at the heels, though, in this one, Buck. 4 for 4 at the line, and perhaps Eric's foul shooting difficulties have come to an end. He really suffered 3 for 11 at the line over 3 games before 2 for 2 at Georgia Tech on Wednesday. 4 for 5, 5 for 6 today. 25 points, 3 off a career high.
Absolutely an astounding statistic, much like the 50-6 in the paint for the comparison in this game was the fact that Tar Heels only shot 9 free throws in Atlanta when Georgia Tech beat them.
Bruce Martin has hit 5 3-pointers in this game. Carolina by 24.
Pass was pretty good. Montross got caught in a little traffic getting down through there. Right at 9 minutes now, down 24. Clemson playing for pride, trying to get back in here and make this respectable.
Salvadori around the Phelps. Whips it inside. Breeze moving great without the ball. Rewarded by Phelps with the pass.
Oh, he's Ely in there.
Martin. 16 rebounds for the Indianapolis Saints. Williams scoring. And they give Williams a big cheer. Boy, that had to feel good. Finally, one goes in.
I'm not sure. He was 0 for 8 in the last game and 0 for 5 at the half. Is that his first shot in the second half?
Yes, it is.
Sense of relief. And it wasn't from 3 where he's been firing throughout those previous 13 misses. He finally took it to the basket and has a good arc on that one.
So after 0 for 15 over 2 games, Mr. Williams is back in business. This is what Carolina needs. A little more offensive firepower. Yeah, this is a whole package, this ball club.
Sharone better take his teammates out to dinner and introduce himself. They're so concerned about throwing up those threes, he can get them the old-fashioned way. Let me get that ball down inside. I don't think they can win this game. They better not lose his affection.
31-point lead, biggest of the afternoon now for Carolina. Salvador's had a good game today, too. As you mentioned earlier, Bucky, overshadowed with all the talk about the freshman at Montross, but Salvador continues to make great contributions. Wallace is short. Phelps brings it ahead. 7.5 to play. Dean is going to clear the bench. Montross, air ball. Ragland the rebound. As you see, as we pan across there, you see all the guys at the scorer's table. Brand new team going to come in for the Heels. Have the next opportunity. Right, yes. Montross, foul number 4.
He hasn't quit working. To his credit.
So here come 5 new Heels with Wallace and Larry Davis, Stackhouse, McGinnis, and Calabria. And Eric to the bench, and what a huge game. The focus for Dean Smith and the Tar Heels in this game. How about that matchup with Montross and Wright, and Eric just took it right to him.
He always responds when you get a reputation coming in at the opposing center spot. I thought he was especially ready to play today.
Montross matching his career high with 17 rebounds. Not that Wright has had a poor game by any means, but Montross just had one of those dominating kind of games with a lot of help from his teammates. Here's a shot up and in with Dante. .83-52. Take that out of here.
Don't come in there with any of that soft stuff now.
Timeout in Chapel Hill. The Tar Heel faithful savoring that block by Wallace. We'll be back after a word from our good friends at Bud Light.
Hi. Is this space taken?
No.
Then I'll sit down.
You want a Bud Light?
Not yet.
Hey, wait a minute. That's my Bud Light.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
How about a little help here?
It's estimated that most Americans still don't know karate. Remember, it pays to measure everything out before you jump into a project. Does your teenager need more of an outlet?
Of all the fine German engineering in a new Volkswagen, there's one advance not found on any other car. A device small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, but big enough to change the next 10 years of your life. It's a warranty, the longest limited powertrain warranty in the world. One part of Volkswagen Protection Plus. It's sort of like having headlights that see all the way into the future. Volkswagen, the most loved and protected cars in the world.
All Tar Heels, they jumped off 15-2, 28-12, and Dean Smith honing in on the ball club's 13th win this season. And the Hall of Famer with just an incredible streak, the 55 wins, the most in NCAA tournament play for any coach. But the number that the fans talk about so much about Coach Smith is 877, which would be the number of wins it would take to surpass Adolph Rupp. Dean, of course, would prefer you talk about his players and his teams. Calabria inside to Wallace. Followed the shot pretty well.
to Richie.
You can bet that Dean Smith said, now look, I don't want anybody out there whooping for stats. Let's play like a team, even though we have this big lead. Go out there and execute like it's a 2-point game.
Clemson, Bucky, is on its way to establishing an ACC record for 3 points attempted in a game. They've taken 36 today. The record is 42. Wallace. Oh, my.
No question, Cliff Ellis had plenty of shooters today from the 3-point line. What he needed desperately was some makers.
Brown. Jeff has hit 4 3-pointers, 12 points in the game, 85-57.
Jeff Brown.
Jeff McGinnis, his second 3 of the game, and that's a new season high for Jeff with 10. Richie for 3. Wallace tips it out, but into the hands of Martin. Now Wright, blocked by Wallace. Oh, that gets them out of their chairs here in Chapel Hill. And Stackhouse is fouled. Oh, the freshman just snuffed Sharone Wright.
There hasn't been much to bring this crowd to any sort of a fever pitch, but Rasheed Wallace clearly getting that one. He knocked that one into nickel seats. I'm surprised it stayed inbounds. Bam! Oh, with authority.
A 1-and-1 for Jerry Stackhouse. 6'6" freshman from Kinston, North Carolina, via Oak Hill. His 9th point, 88-57. And more subs for the Tar Heels with Pierce Landry and Serge Zwicker coming in. 4:51 left, 89-57 Tar Heels.
Amazingly, no one heading for the exits. And I think it's blocks like Rasheed Wallace and the anticipation of more thrilling plays by these freshmen are keeping them in their seats.
90-57, biggest Carolina advantage. The high water mark for the Tar Heels in points scored this year, 116 against the Marshall Thundering Herd here at Chapel Hill earlier. Brown. Ragland snuffed. Boy, is he fun to watch. Davis with a charge. Another just a perfectly timed block by Rasheed Wallace.
Both ends of the floor, just a precocious freshman. The one thing he's going to learn to do with that great shot blocking ability is learn to really direct it somewhere where it can be converted into transition. The thrill of just batting it away right now is exciting, but with experience, as Bill Russell did in his prime, he basically directed it to the point man, and they were off and running.
You see the blocks, Joe Smith leading on a per-game average. Wallace has 5 blocks today. The last Clemson foul was on Rayfield Ragland. That will send Larry Davis to the line.
There's another young center, Greg Newton at Duke, that hasn't had many minutes yet, that also has the capacity to be a shot blocker and run the floor. Again, another bumper crop, but Joe Smith has been absolutely amazing.
There's another young man, when you talk about blocks, that doesn't get the recognition because of the totals, as Davis goes 1 for 2, and that's Salvadori. He had 27 coming in, and based on minutes played, he is one of the finest shot blockers in the conference.
Barry Jacobs, in his magazine, A Fan's Guide to ACC Basketball, always breaks things down in per minutes, and that's really a valid stat because he plays about half the time of Montross.
Martin launching again. Saved by Brown, but all he did was advance it up the court for the Tar Heels. 3:45 to play, and 91-57 is our score.
Cliff Ellis gathers the Tigers with a timeout here in Chapel Hill. Tar Heels rolling.
What if a grocery store put thousands of items on special on January 1st? And say the sale was so popular that they held it over to the 2nd, then the 3rd, a 2-week sale, a month-long extravaganza, thousands of lower prices every week, every month, a sale that goes on all year long. Food Lion. That's what we mean by extra low prices every day.
Deep in the heart of Texas, and adored by lovers of the Old West, is Fort Worth, a city that not only has its own stock market, but is also a major financial center, because it's one of the 1,900 communities served by Nations Bank, letting Justin Industries keep in step with the latest ideas in investment banking, giving families like the Trevinos a fresh start, and offering a range of resources that keeps people in Fort Worth from having to play second fiddle to anyone.
Relive the ACC's greatest moments in the action-packed video that captures 4 decades of ACC tournament action. Call this toll-free number now for Pressure and Pride, 40 years of the ACC tournament.
It's off the rim, but Dick makes good on the rebound. And 82-80, State is the first champion of the new conference.
Feel the excitement, the pressure, and the glory that is ACC basketball. Call and order Pressure and Pride today.
91-57. Tar Heels in command with 3:45 left. Bob Rathman, Bucky Waters, Paul Cameron from the Smith Center at Chapel Hill. Larry Davis had that one blocked, put a foul on Clemson. And it's on Ragland, his second.
Second foul on Rayfield Ragland.
The Tar Heels, the #1 team in the land, with Duke #2, but that poll, of course, undergo another shakeup as these two teams, Duke and Carolina, lost earlier in the week. But when you look at it at the overall picture, and you know, it's really just a beauty contest in January. The tournament determines the champion. How can you not consider this Tar Heel? And I haven't seen Arkansas and all the others, but they just have so many weapons.
Well, the weekend's not over yet, so some of the teams who are aspiring to be 1 or 2 or 3 this week will have to get by. And now that we're in conference play, I mean, the word upset is really overused in college basketball, especially when the home team loses. That man is thinking about his next road trip to Virginia.
Ooh, that will be.
Because that's the way he thinks.
That Virginia Ball Club, which will play Duke later this afternoon, is considered by many one of the finest defensive teams in the country, not only the ACC, led by deluxe defensive guard Cornell Parker.
Steve Smith is always talking about Derek Phelps and his defensive ability, but right now most of the notoriety for defense has gone to Parker at Virginia. One of the things is he's bigger. He can play a postman, he can play forward or a guard. Doug Moe had that capacity for North Carolina way back in the 50s. Just didn't matter what size, he had him and he had nothing.
And there's the game that we're talking about coming up next, the Virginia Cavaliers and the Duke Blue Devils. Mike Krzyzewski and the boys have lost 3 of their last 4 visits to Charlottesville. See how it turns out today.
The orangest arena in the league, maybe in the country. And they are tough up there. Always have been.
95-57. Carolina continues to pour it on with 3:20 remaining.
Cliff Ellis resting Sharone Wright.
Beauvain. That may be the second or third 2-point attempt this half for Clemson. Brown breaks up the club. 4, we're told by Tony Britt. 4 second-half field goals of 2-point worth. And they've attempted 39 threes for the game.
Stackhouse being very unselfish on that break, trying to get that ball to McGinnis, who has fed him so faithfully for so many years. but he really forced it. He should have taken it all away. That's a good sign, though, at this mop-up time.
Pass deflected, but McGinnis controls, spins, shoots, and scores. Hello. 98-57. A career-high 13 for Jeff McGinnis.
Tar Heels still trapping, still turning it over.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark, 98-57. Davis. Up and in. Larry Davis, the sophomore from Denmark, South Carolina.
Now they're starting to head toward the exit, but not very fast. It's hard to walk up these steps and look backwards to see maybe Stackhouse with one more slam.
Bruce Martin missing. Zwicker gets it ahead. Davis all the way to the bucket. Stackhouse kept it alive, secures it. 1:05 left. Stackhouse, here we go!
That was for the 6 o'clock news.
Standing O at Chapel Hill. And why not? What a performance.
As I said earlier, by the end of this year, they may look back at this team and say the best 1 through 13 talent that's ever been on a college basketball court.
Martin puts it in. Bruce with 20, and that's a new career high. Final seconds. All Heels. 15-2 at the start. And Zwicker hooks it in. Camaro will shoot.
Dean Smith still up, contesting the officials, fighting for his reserves. That's a, you know, you may say, why don't he just kick back and relax? But when a reserve is out there, looks over, mop-up time, sees a coach battling for him, the guy's been at it a long time. He is always thinking.
And those guys practice just as hard as the regulars.
Yes. Having been in that spot myself a time or two, it's nice to see those kids get in there and do well. And the crowd didn't let it get to be a gong show either. They were respectful to both Clemson and the reserve. Very tough to get in the end of a game like that and look good. You've been sitting there a long time, and it tends to get hairy.
7/10 of a second.
Cliff Ellis, wrong place, wrong time.
This will match Carolina's biggest win ever against Clemson, 44 points. Landry. Nope. And this one is history. Dean Smith takes the hand of Cliff Ellis. And center court here at Chapel Hill. All Tar Heels today. Our final score, North Carolina 106. And the Tigers 62. For North Carolina, a record of 13-2 overall and 3-1 in the ACC. Clemson falls to 8-6 overall and 0-3 in the ACC. Stay with us. We'll have some interviews and post-game comments from the Smith Center. Right after these words, again the final. Tar Heels 106, Tigers 62.
We're going to have to bail.
you down, make it a Bud Light.
Oh, mine.
Quick and Rally is one of the largest discount brokerages in the United States.
The telephone's the lifeblood of our business.
The market moves at a moment's notice.
When we have a client that wants to place an order, they don't want to get a busy signal. We're not there when they want to do business. You know, they'll go elsewhere.
Using percentage allocation with our 800 service, we're able to divert calls during peak demand from branch to branch throughout their network. The customers are not disrupted by getting busy signals or long hold times.
Companies like Quick and Rally switch to MCI. That's proof positive.
North Carolina now 3-1 in the ACC with this victory over Clemson, 106-62. The streak is intact. Tar Heels 40-0 against the Tigers in Chapel Hill. Our Nations Bank players of the game for the Tigers, Bruce Martin leading the way with 17 points, hitting 5 3-pointers in the game. And for the Tar Heels, none other than Eric Montross, a huge game against Sharone Wright with 25 points and 17 rebounds. Just a sensational effort for the 7-foot senior from Indianapolis to lead the way for the Tar Heels today. The Clemson Tigers get set for another road trip. They'll take on Florida State. That will come up Wednesday night in Tallahassee. And the Tar Heels, as Bucky mentioned a moment ago, they are on the road as well, traveling to University Hall in Charlottesville to take on Virginia in the Tar Heels' next contest. Speaking of Virginia, they will be in action momentarily. Many of you will see the game on our ACC network as the Cavaliers take on the Duke Blue Devils. Right now, let's switch it over to Paul Cameron. PC.
Okay, thanks so much, Bob. And sitting with me, Eric Montross. And Eric, fine performance today. 25 points, 17 boards. This game not in doubt when you guys went off to an 11-0 start. Real statement, I thought, coming off the heels of the upset loss of Georgia Tech.
Well, we were real upset about that loss. It kind of embarrassed us, and it did. And we came out tonight. We had a couple good practices the last couple of days and knew we had to play better defense. I think that's what ignited us.
And I thought that you guys really tried to pound it into the paint today, especially in the second half. I mean, you go to the dressing room, you've scored 14 points, come right back out in the second half, going right back inside.
Well, I think, you know, the inside game, if we can get it in there, that's where our bread and butter is, and that's what we've got to use to be effective. And, of course, we've got a great outside game as well, which can complement that.
Plus, you guys got a little more on the charity stripe end today. A week ago, we saw you up at Maryland. You had one attempted free throw in the first half, so you got a few more whistles going your way.
Well, you know, Donald Williams came out the first play and drew a foul, went to the line for 2 shots, and I think that kind of set the tone for the game. We came out, we were going after our shots, getting good shots, and going to the foul line and getting easy points.
How much of an emphasis was it on playing well against Sharone Wright? You know, in the pregame show, we had Sharone talking about playing against you. We haven't really getting up, but I think Eric Montross wanted to play well today.
Well, you know, it's always fun to play against a big guy, and a guy like Sharone, he's an excellent player, and a lot was made out of that. I try to keep myself away from those kind of contests. I just want to go out and play, and our team go out and play, but of course you have to keep that in the back of your mind.
But you got a lot of help pounding it in the paint. Salvador, I thought, hit some remarkable hook shots.
Well, I mean, we've got a great bunch of guys, and I mean, you got to give credit to the guards for collapsing. Guys like Kevin, who really played him, I mean, checked him most of the game and did an excellent job on him. Rashid blocked a couple of nice shots, so it was a total team defense.
Yeah, Rashid got this crowd up, spilled a little of that Chardonnay all over their laps.
Yeah, well, you know, Rashid's an explosive player, and he has an attribute of jumping.
All right, Eric, congratulations. Big victory today. We're going to let you get on to the locker room.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's continue talking now. Kevin Salvador, come on in here. Kevin, we talked with Eric about pounding it into the paint, and you guys came on strong today. I was really impressed with a lot of your hook shots off the baseline.
Well, we knew that, you know, Sharone Wright is a great shot blocker and everything, but, you know, you take a strong to a shot blocker, and that's our game all year long, is just to work it down low and see what happens, and things are working for us today.
Plus, you were pretty psyched, I think. I saw you pretty disappointed after that loss at Georgia Tech.
Very much so. It was even more amazing when we watched the film and saw how lackadaisical and how, you know, without emotion we played. And we wanted to come out here and play as hard as we could and play with some emotion and just go at them as hard as we could.
You feel like you guys have gotten Donald Williams back in the act? I mean, he missed, 13 straight over the last 2 games, and yet he comes on and hits that nice little three-point play.
Well, you know, it's hard. He was out for a couple games, and that's a bad injury. You know, it throws off his balance, throws off his jumping when he goes up his jump shot. But, you know, he's going to get back in his rhythm. He's going to be back for us. It's just going to take a little bit of time for him.
Okay, Kevin, congratulations. We'll let you run on. How about the freshman? Come on in here. Rasheed Wallace along with Jerry Stackhouse. Hey, Rasheed.
I don't.
You were swatting some shots there in the second half, my friend.
A little bit.
You have a nice timing on that play. How do you feel on this team? You spent now, what, almost half a season. You're in the thick of the conference play. You've seen one end and the other. You've seen the upset loss, and now you've seen the big win.
Well, college basketball goes up and down, so, we had a hard loss against Georgia Tech the other night, so we bounced back from it, played Clemson today, and we have to go into Virginia Wednesday, and they're pretty tough. So, we just got to look to the future.
Already thinking ahead. You guys, as we talked with both Kevin and Eric, really wanted to pound it in the middle today, and I thought that game plan, getting the points in the paint, really paid off.
Well, yeah, they had Sharone Wright in the middle, and they had another big guy. So, we just went straight for him. We outmanned them with the big guy, so we just went straight for him.
Indeed so. Larry Davis down the stretch, pretty impressed with him.
Yeah, Larry, he's bouncing back from a couple of injuries. He's a good player, and, took it to the cup a couple of times for a good layup.
How do you feel about your game as a freshman coming on now?
Well, I feel as though I'm coming along. There's still a lot of things that I have to learn, under Coach Smith. So, I think I can handle it. Coming along pretty good.
Congratulations on a big win today, Rasheed Wallace, and continue the good work here for the Tar Heels. Let's go over to Bucky, who has the coach.
Dean, an awesome display today. I'm sure coming off that loss in Atlanta fired you up, but you were in it right to the end personally.
Well, I was disappointed in our play. I think Georgia Tech deserved to win Wednesday night, but I really was so disappointed, and I talked to the team, and we practiced pretty hard, and yet we have to. I thought we did show an improvement defensively. We've been such a good defensive team in Bucky, and then all of a sudden the last two games I didn't think we were, but of course Clemson did not play well. We have to start there. I think it'll be a better judge how we go on the road on Wednesday against Virginia, to whether we can sustain the defense and still get the ball inside. But Donald will be back. I'm sure of that.
It was nice to see him hit one today. I'm sure you were relieved with that.
We really were, but we know it's going to be there. But it is stiff, and maybe it'll get better. And you notice he had a box and one on him anyway, so it helped us, even though he wasn't shooting well. But I was happy with Brian Reese throwing the ball inside, and I think the pivot defense on Wright was just outstanding. I didn't want to start Eric on him, but Eric helped, and Kevin Salvador did a good job getting in front.
Were you ever concerned that this game might be in jeopardy with all that's going on in college basketball?
Well, not really. This game, that's hard to say. The presidents are in charge. I know that, and the way it should be. But then the President's Commission, they should have one coach talking. Like in 1982, I was on a select committee with Lou Holt, and the presidents were great. They said, "What do you think, Coach?" And they were just surprised some of the things. They don't have time to be athletic director. So just have some input, and